Hey guys, a very warm welcome to our final vlog of Axing Anxiety in 10 with Dr. M from the Pinnacle Practice, London's Harley Street, Nottingham, and on location, working in association with my fabulous colleague Dr. Niall Mack and the guys at Book Hub Publishing and DocCheck over in Ireland, Galway. So our theme today is how to develop an unstoppable mindset whereby no one or nothing can stop you, not even you or not even COVID-19. So we are going to talk about the acronym I have, which is GREAT, whereby each letter of GREAT stands for an attribute or attributes that I've carefully researched that are present in every single person every single time that have cured themselves when they've been told they've got terminal illness, 6 months to live, or they've been given some horrible diagnosis and they've overturned it and overcome it and changed their lives completely, to people that have achieved or won gold over adversity and told that they would never be able to do something, to the people that have achieved phenomenal success in life, whether that's in business or anything they choose to do, singing, talents, contests, anything. When people have been told they can't do something, but despite all the challenges, they do, and that's simply because of having the right mindset, because mindset determines everything from the life we lead, the path that we choose, the health we experience, and the results we get in life. And that's not to say that we never have challenges or bumps in the road along the way, because we do, and that's all part of it, because that's all part of whether we learn or not in order to grow and to evolve and to advance ourselves. And as you know, that's what all these vlogs have really been about. So I hope you've embraced that and taken on board all the resources, because each and every one that you do will make a huge difference to your life when you really apply that fully, and you can lose that anxiety for good, because you don't need that in your lives. Life's about having fun and making the most of what you can. So that's what we're all about here. So very quickly, I'm going to go through this briefly, because I have all these logged down in a nice neat book that you can download instantly if you go on my site, which is drm.co.uk, and you can get that there. And then further on, everything's also explained in Out of Your Comfort Zone book as well. But anything, if you go on any of my social media channels, if you go on, you can email me to get things, or go on any of my website. There's tons of free resources that you can access, and you can get all this information in even more detail. But just for now, 5 tips basically on how you can apply GREAT and the mindset. So first of all, I'm going to take G, which is about goals, grit and gratitude. 3 main themes there. First of all, if I take goals, as you know, as we've talked through the vlogs previously, these are so important to establish a motivation and give you some encouragement, so your mind knows where you're going, so it puts you in the right focus, so you have something to aim for, and it gives you that all-important purpose that we all need in life, to have that motivation to strive for something, and make us feel worthwhile, important, and like I said, the main thing, that we have a purpose. So that's what this is really all about, and it's also about like attracts like at the deep core level. So the more you are grateful for things, and the more you can show genuine gratitude for something, the more of that thing you'll attract back to you in abundance. So something I recommend having is a gratitude rock, or something just that you can keep on you. I have a keyring of little jewels I keep on my purse, so every time I'm really grateful for something at a very deep core level, that I really feel that sense of gratitude for anything, I clasp onto it and really think about those things, so it actually layers it in, so it becomes like a nice trigger. When I see it or when I hold on to it, I think automatically about all those nice things, and it just compounds how grateful you are and establishes that attitude of gratitude that I've talked about previously in the other vlogs. So then there's also grit, and that's really something we all need in terms of resilience, and in terms of knowing that when things don't always go according to plan, you still have that determination, and you can still trust in the process of life, that if you have that grit about you, you'll be able to go forward and keep going and going until you really get the things that you want. But it's about then trusting in the process of life, and that everything falls into place. As I say, I do go into details with all these, But in a nutshell, having that motivation, having those goals gives you the energy and inspiration to keep going forward. And remember when I talked about the vision board of creating, using magazines to cut out things that you might like or want in the future, symbols of things that you might like. For example, if you like certain cars, have a little badge. For example, I love Aston Martins, so you may have a little badge of an Aston Martin or a brochure, car brochure of that. Stick it on your vision board if that's what you want. Another aspiration of mine is curing type 1 diabetes, nearly there with my own cure of that. So, something that represents that. I have my book, so a little picture icon of that is on the vision board, but make it nice, be creative. So that's goals, grit, and gratitude. Now, the next one is about self-responsibility. So it's about taking on board and looking at what you can do all the time, rather than looking to push blame outwards. So if you've had traumas and negative things in your life, actually look at what you can take from that, the positive learnings, the positive resources, so you get to the point where you can go, thank you for that beep that happened, and basically that's got me to where I am. That's helped me to be the person who I am, because I have all these great resources now. I have all these positive learnings that I can take and actually have become wisdom and knowledge and everything for a reason. So you can really think about that and never play the victim. Always take responsibility and own it, own what's happened, so that it becomes yours and you can positively utilize that. And also, whatever has happened, and if you do get bad news in the future or whatever, it's about thinking what you can do and not just accepting that. For example, don't just accept feeling anxious, kick anxiety in the ass and do something about it. Apply all these resources that you've got and the things that I've given you. Another example of this is there was a gentleman who was flying a light aircraft over in Texas, and he had a very, very bad air crash, and he got taken to hospital. He was told he was paralyzed from the neck down, and you know what? He didn't listen to it. He went to that and said that in 6 months he would be out of the hospital by Christmas. And guess what? He was, and he was on ventilators and everything at the time, couldn't speak. He used boards to blink the alphabet to basically communicate. And when he did communicate, he told them he would be out by Christmas. And guess what? He was. And that's because it came from his deep belief system and him taking ownership of that, in terms of saying, no chance, I'm not going to become paralyzed from the neck down. Pretty much like I did. I was told I was going blind once, and I thought, nope, I'm not accepting that. And I went and did mind body medicine and mind body work, and guess what? I'm not going blind. So there's a lot to be said for taking on personal responsibility there. Next we have E, and that's an ever positive attitude and sense of humour and comedy. So like we've spoken about before, if you keep a positive attitude and you don't take yourself too seriously, because lots of people do these days, but if you don't and you have a good sense of humour with things and you keep things as light-hearted as possible, as least stress in your life as possible, you will always benefit from this, because the mind generates endorphins and positive chemicals in accordance with this. So it will always help you to feel good. Like I said in the last vlog, mind affects the body in a massive way. So the more positive you are, the better results you'll get. And also, if you do have anything where you experience a lot of pain at all in terms of conditions, endorphins are actually the body's natural morphine. So that's endogenous morphine that is created within the body from feeling happy, from laughing, from exercise. So there's a lot to be said for that works very well. Now we are on A, which is awareness and the absence of panic. So whenever things do go off in life, if you can have an absence of panic because you can trust that things will go right, you can trust in yourself and the process of life and how the universe works, and that if you keep going and you take those positive learnings and you keep with that grit, that everything will be okay. And if you trust in your core blueprint, that's really what you're meant to be doing in life. That's how you really feel, and you align that properly. That means you bring together what you should be doing with what you want to be doing, or what you are doing with what you want to be doing, rather than what you think you should be doing. Then you will always be on the right path. An example of this is when I was 4 years old, I always wanted to be a doctor. When I got to 14 years old, because I'd had my confidence really knocked a lot in school because of diabetes and gosh, various other like I said, I've got so many stories I could tell you, but we haven't got time, so I won't do that. But I got my confidence knocked, and so I didn't go into the sciences, and I didn't become a medical doctor. So I got told I would be very good at law and being a barrister. So because I was told I would be good at it, I went for that, and then I went to law school, only to do a lot of studying, a lot of hard work, to realise law really wasn't for me. So I ended up changing later in life and going back to what I really wanted to do. And at that point, 10 years ago, when I went back to doing what I really wanted to do, which is being a doctor and helping people with the mind and mental health and mind-body medicine, my life started to fall into place, and I started to feel happy and different, and my health changed, and I went through lots of healing processes. So it's phenomenal what a absence of panic can do, and trusting in that process, but also having an awareness of this makes a huge difference. Now, the mind, in terms of awareness, actually responds physically. So, quick example, there's a Harvard case study where they took about 84 housemaids in hotels that all did the same kind of work, but they believed they didn't get enough of their daily exercise. However, what they were doing was enough of their daily exercise. So in one group, they weren't informed of this, so they didn't know. They carried on as normal, believing that they didn't realise that they were doing the recommended daily exercise, and all these maids were slightly overweight and slightly stressed with high blood pressure. The other group, however, the informed group, the aware group, they were told that actually you do enough exercise and you do enough activity to be burning lots of calories. And then in the end, the result was actually that the group that weren't informed, that were carrying on as normal, stayed the same. Their results of weight and blood pressure didn't change. However, the group that were aware, that suddenly realised that they were burning enough calories and they were doing enough exercise, suddenly, miraculously, it turned out that they actually lost quite a bit of weight, their blood pressure went down, and their cholesterol levels improved as well. So this case study is all detailed and documented in the book Out of Your Comfort Zone as well. But that's just to show you that awareness is so important, because the more you're aware of something, the more you will respond physically. So that one, A, is awareness and absence of panic. Now, T is total belief. Now, we've touched on this with Maurice Goodman, the man that was told he was going to be paralysed, and his belief system, what helped him. We've touched on it when I was told I was going blind. My belief system, there was no way I would believe or have it that I would be going blind. So I found a way to reverse that and sort it out. Same, I have a complete belief system that will 100% reverse type 1 diabetes. Never been done before, never been done in this way before, but that's my belief system, been my belief system since I was 10 when I was diagnosed with the condition, and I know that I'll do that, and I'm up 90% there with it already. So belief is everything. It's what generates our thoughts affect our emotions affect our behavior and our physical health and the results we get in life. So it's so key that you have a positive belief system about yourself, about the things you want, about the things you can have, and that you genuinely deserve things. Because if you're not getting what you want, then there's something buried deep that's stopping you, some limiting belief, something that's you don't really, for some reason, believe that you deserve it. So perhaps if you have always been a poor person, then it may be the case that you don't believe that you deserve to be rich and wealthy, or some other core deep reason for that. So when I say ripping out the roots of your anxiety, of feeling depressed, is so important, it really is, because taking them out then alters your belief system, and then you can have that total good positive belief system that makes all the difference. Okay guys, so that is a very, very quick run through of G.R.E.A.R.T. As I said, you can download it in the book from my website, drm.uk. Now, there's so much that I haven't touched on in these vlogs, and I've gone through things very quickly. So even in the last vlog, the fear from foods, I think I talked about 3 of them. There's tons of them and tons of things you can have, and they're all listed down. As I said, things can also be found on my social media. You can contact me on email, you can come and see me in practice, but essentially the message is you never need to suffer, and there are so many resources that you can apply to remove anxiety for good. Don't just have to manage it at all. So in a nutshell, it's been a pleasure to assist. If you apply all the points we've talked about, you will remove anxiety. As I've also mentioned, I have the anxiety analysis indicator due out soon. So that's a free indicator you can do online that will help you to get to the root of any of your anxiety, because there are like about at least 5 different sources where anxiety comes from. And once you get to the type that it is, then you can start to work on which ways are best to actually treat it. And then I also have a new book which will be coming out, which is Axing Anxiety in 7 steps in 7 days. So that's also something that you can look out for. So it's been my pleasure. I hope you take care. And as I said, any questions, anything you need clarifying, you know where I am.